Good afternoon, everyone. Happy Friday. Merch Hunter Ricky here, and we are back with two more devil fruits for my ongoing series, Powerful Devil Fruit Ideas. Now, this first one was suggested by a user named Ethan, who is always commenting on my videos, and I very much appreciate that. And he has been very persistent about getting this devil fruit a video. So, you know what? You have to reward persistence, so that's what I'm doing here. The Vector fruit, a paramecia fruit that allows you to control everything inside of an area within the vector that you control. So right off the gate, let's go ahead and envision a vector, shall we? I'll probably throw up a graphic when I edit this video. So you're gonna have your grid, you're gonna have your X and your Y, and then you're going to have the axes, and then you're going to have a third point on this grid, if you will. So on the vector, let's say someone throws an apple at you. If it enters your vector, you're able to pinpoint the area it's in and immediately isolate the X and the Y and put the green dot on it and stop it right there. From here, you can take the apple and just move it around, spin it if you want, throw it at people, change the direction it's gonna go in, or you can make it disappear and reappear somewhere else in your vector. Now, all of those are just the basic applications of this fruit, and this is actually what I really like about this fruit is it allows a lot of creativity on a different scale of creativity. The first things that I thought of on this fruit is a character from Dragon Ball Super, so minor spoilers ahead if you are not caught up to Dragon Ball Super, but they encounter a person named Granola who has the ability to basically aim at your vital spots wherever you are from very far distances away, just very, very strong concentrated ki blasts, and he essentially has a vector grid in his eye that lets him do that. When he awakens his powers like a devil fruit user, he gets both vectors, both eyes get a vector, and he's able to aim with even more prowess and from even further distances. On top of that, he has a little aim device. I forgot what its name was, but he has I think its name was Oats, actually. Yeah, Oats, Granola and Oats. He had the ability to even, tell him where, what, coordinate points on the vector he could hit someone at. So, this fruit really reminds me of him. And there's a character from a certain magical index, which is an anime that has someone with vector powers. However, I saw this back in 2016, so you'll forgive me if I have to Google the name, edit it into the video, and flash a picture of the guy real quick. But there's multiple other things I would like to do with this vector fruit. For example, instead of just being able to control an object in the space, I think you should be able to manipulate the entire space. It wouldn't be that easy, and obviously, Law's fruit, would drain a lot of stamina, and it would probably limit your hockey preference to observation. You fully take the path of observation hockey. You wouldn't really need armament hockey if nobody can touch you, right? However, let's not overstate the relevance of armament hockey with this fruit as well, because if you're throwing things into your vector and waiting for the right moment to throw them and you imbue them with armament hockey at the last second, just boom! It just really depends on what you want, right? So, like I said, basic application of the fruit, you make a vector grid. The size of the vector grid, honestly, let me know down in the comments what you think. I think to start, it should be like a 10 by 10 by 10 grid, right? Maybe like a cube of evenly 10-foot sides all around. And you can create your vector and only you can see your lines and all that at first. Also, I thought of a nice little indicator for the devil fruit that it's active is you have a lens on over your eye, like a Dragon Ball Z Scouter, but it's not, it's your devil fruit power active. If you like that idea, let me know down below. So you get your lens, you activate your grid, and then you can control things along the X and Y axes, and then when you get the green, the green dot or whatever you want to express it as, that indicates that that's where you've selected, that's when you start the manipulation of the power. Then you can do even greater things, such as shift the vector over entirely to somewhere else, and that way someone who would, let's say you're fighting someone who's also really good at math and they understand the full extent of your power and range, but you do vector shift or something like that, and it moves, you move your 10 foot cube thing over a slot. That way they think that they're not within range when they are. Now, another power you could try to use with this is, instead of like just using it to like launch things and control things in the area, you might be able to like bolster something in said area with your Haki. So like I said, that's why we wouldn't automatically rule out armament Haki, right? You could bolster something in the area. Like, let's say someone, like your friend, is standing in your vector, and like you choose the parts of his body to bolster so that he can take an oncoming attack. I don't know if the fruit would allow that off the jump. That's why I suggested Haki be the medium that bolsters your friend, if you will. And I don't know if you can transfer Haki that way in One Piece, but this is typically, these fruits are used for a D&D format anyways, right? So, just something simple like that. Now, in Awakening for the fruit, I feel like you would make a giant vector, maybe like 100 by 100, and everyone, like, it's visible to everyone, not just you. And that's when things get crazy. Like, the lines can become tangible or something like that. So, like, if you, like, walk into the vector, you get stuck almost like a spider web, and then you can just shift the person around the vector and just ruin them and just throw them out that way. I was thinking that would be one of the logical ways to make it work, but don't operate with too much logic here. This is fictional devil fruit territory that we're talking about, and even furthermore, made up ones that aren't even in One Piece. But the vector fruit really impressed me. It was a great idea. There's a lot to think about when it comes with this. Like, do you want to just be like a particle accelerator, like a railgun, or do you want to just be an object manipulator? It would really come down to the expression of the user. And not like, in the past I did the Gorilla Devil Fruit, for example. That one would, that's kind of like one and done. Yes, it would be a little bit up to user expression, but like your powers are limited to bonking things, smashing things, and doing general gorilla stuff, right? With this Vector Fruit, no, you could do a lot of different things. You can be a defensive person. You can move like let's say there's a rock in your vector. You can move the rock and hide behind it. Might be able to lift the rock up and throw it after you're done hiding behind it. Break the rock down into a bunch of little particles, scatter them across your vector, and then like shape them into whatever kind of like mass object you want to make. Instead of like a rock, maybe you can break it down and shift it and shape it back into like a lance or something. Throw it right at your enemy. Just, cool vector things. And honestly, like, I really like this fruit, and I could ramble on about it, but I want to move on to the next fruit. This one was suggested by via Instagram by my friend Murr, who runs a blog. I'll link the blog down below. He thought of the Compass fruit, and at first, I'm not gonna lie, I thought this fruit wouldn't really fare well as a devil fruit, but hear me out. As a compass man, or compass woman, whatever, you're a compass human, you obviously know the cardinal directions at all points in time. No matter what, if someone took you around and spun you and blindfolded you, you would always just know what way north is. You would know what way south is. You would know how many paces to walk to the southwest if you needed to. And with that would be a great power, because you would be able to traverse the Grand Line without a log pose, as long as you knew the coordinates of most of the places in the Grand Line, that is. You would still need a log pose, obviously, for certain reasons, but you would not necessarily have to rely on it should you already know how to get to certain destinations. I feel like training in this devil fruit, you could also apply something of like directional shift, where like you confuse someone for a certain amount of time. Like, you're able to just kind of like distort someone's north pole or whatever, and they don't know north, south, east, or west, and they're just like, they don't know, like, they walk left but they think they're walking right, you know what I mean? Something along that line. And as an awakening for this fruit, instead of like, at first I thought of something really dumb, and I'll just share it really quick. I just thought you'd conjure a giant compass, but like, whoop-de-fucking-do, but no, I actually think what it would do is, in your head, you would get like a weird map of everything in one direction. Like, you would know, like, let's say I want to know 100 miles to the north, everything in that direction, you would be able to. You wouldn't do it like Viola, who can just kind of like do that eye thing with her devil fruit and just have like a bird's eye view of everything. But with yours, you would just get like a weird sense of everything in that direction, almost like kind of like Spider-Man's danger sense, or Daredevil when it's like raining and he gets like the edgy sense. But being able to discern the location of something right away, I feel like obviously we would all know why that devil fruit probably doesn't exist in One Piece yet, right? A compass fruit and someone with enough know-how and knowledge to traverse the Grand Line would find Lodestar Island and would find the One Piece. That's why, you know? But I really like this devil fruit because it's one of those devil fruits like Mach Weiss and what's her name, Miss Wednesday or something like that. I'm probably getting it wrong, but the girl who had the Kilo fruit and the guy with the Ton fruit, those fruits have like no real use other than being heavy and smashing people, right? But you could also use them for other purposes that were never really explored in the series. They literally just went up and then back down. But realistically, if you were like Corazon, for example, who used the silent, like I think he had like the calm fruit, and it would like remove sound around him, and like not make a sound when he moves and stuff like that, how he infiltrated a Navy ship. Okay, well, that was amazing. He absolutely crapped on all of those guys in that Navy ship. Now, if the girl, and I don't remember her name, I'm going to edit it in the video. You know me, right? You know me by now. But if she were to jump up with her little umbrella and just act like she needed help on the ship, and it was a Baroque Works assignment to infiltrate said ship and sink it, all she has to do is continuously add kilos to her weight and boom, ship's done. Mach Weiss, even more simple. Just get on the ship, sink it all the way down to the bottom of the sea. Then he just gets scooped up by Dofi later because Dofi can fly over the ocean. Same with Buffalo. Both of them come in on air support, pull his ass out, and it's a done deal. So these applications for devil fruits, and I kind of went on a tangent with them, but the point is they have the same kind of like one note ability that this compass fruit has. But then you can like shift that ability as the user, you know? A lot of these devil fruits have like a concept around them, right? So much like the vector fruit, the compass fruit might be like, okay, well, if you're standing to the north of me, I can summon like a wind to the north and knock you away. I can push you to the south. I can slap you to the west. I can knock you to the east. But like they only go in that direction, and you can probably knock them like an indefinite amount of miles depending on how much energy you have to be able to knock them that far. You might be able to do some serious damage with that. That might even be a contender for someone like the Pawpaw fruit user, right? Instead of having to just reflect someone just has to be standing directly to your cardinal direction, right? So like, oh, this guy's to the south of me, I'm going to use my south wind technique and just send his ass flying. Or, you know, I'm going to increase his polarity or something like that so that all compasses in the direction, all log poses around him just go haywire, you know? Instead of like Kid doing that, how Kid did assign with north and south, you would actually just control all types of polarity so that the magnet in the compass wouldn't be able to actually find where it needs to go. And that could do untold amounts of damage to, you know, Marines and pirates alike, depending on where you are and what side you're on. Again, user expression is key here, but a compass fruit would be devastating for someone who does not need a log pose, and moreover, someone who already has been up and down the Grand Line at least once. They would remember a good chunk of it. Nami keeps like all coordinates and stuff like that in her logbook, I assume. So imagine someone like a Nami getting the compass fruit. That's a wrap, honestly. And she controls the weather. That's frightening stuff right there. So that's pretty much been it for both of these devil fruits. I will have I'll probably do 3 next Saturday. We'll see how that goes. Drop your comments down below for devil fruits you want to see. If you could have imagined these better, let me know. And I forgot the hockey preference for the compass fruit. I'm going to go ahead and say armament, just because this one pretty much gives you innate observation hockey, regardless of if you have it already or not, kind of like NL's fruit. So you would need to defend yourself because you would be a high commodity person on the likes of Nico Robin being wanted by the world government since she was 8, right? So I would say armament to defend yourself, basically. But yeah, that's been the video. Like I said, I'm gonna just go ahead and, you guys drop your comments down below, whichever ones you want to see next, or if you have an idea of your O's and you'd like me to try it, go ahead and do that. And if not, I'll find some devil fruits to come up with. I'll probably refer to the list I have going on, and see you on Saturday.